Hello. Hi, guys. Good evening. How is everyone? It's Friday night, 7 o'clock. Today was one of those days where I had a hard time getting up and doing anything, and I felt like being mommy this morning and just like spending time with my kiddo. And then I had a bunch of things I had to do that were not related to the channel today. So I was like, well, I'm going to just, take my time. Things I had to do that were not. I'm just going to take my time, not do any editing today. It's always hard. Fridays, I just don't want to work by the end of the week. It's hard to keep making content. So I feel like tonight we will do a Duggar pile of content. So we are going to Duggar pile. And I don't know why I'm not seeing people here. I don't know if let me just double check if the notifications are out. For some reason, nobody's here. Are you guys here yet? Are people here yet? Okay. Yes, so tonight's will be a members only chat, and we're going to do a Duggar pile. I'm going to see if I can get this out on my Instagram. Perhaps my Instagram doesn't really know what's going on. I just happened to be on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes notifications are sticky. All right, so today was one of those days, again, I was saying we're not a lot. I didn't feel like doing any uploads. I didn't feel like editing. And sometimes these live streams are just so much more fun for me because I love to interact with you guys and get your take on everything that's going on. And there was a number of different stories that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to do like a whole video, or I didn't want to like do 3 separate videos because that would take me forever. So I was like, you know what? We'll do a Duggar pile of tea tonight. And I'm just going to share this on my Instagram and then we'll go live. So if you're watching this in playback, I'm sorry for these first few minutes. So I hope everyone had a good Saturday or Friday. Is it Friday? Oh my goodness. Saturday, Friday, Thursday, happy days. And I've pinned a post at the top, which has the link for how you can join to become a member. I have had relatively open chats for the last several ones. And so as a benefit and as a perk to my members, tonight's chat will be members only so they can get their chat on. So welcome to every member. If you want to join the channel, you can see the pinned comment with a link on how to join. All right. So much to talk about. So you guys were talking to me, sending me deets. You're always sending me messages. Now, if you guys are not yet following me on Instagram, that is a wonderful place to start where you can get all kinds of information and all kinds of exciting updates from me so many different times a day. I have so many, I work on different items. I share content. I go live. So if you're not yet following me on Instagram, my Instagram is right here. Go ahead and follow me there. All right. So we have 3 separate stories. We've got Jeremy and Ginger, and we've got Jessa and Jill reuniting, and then we have Justin and Claire and their newlywed life. So what does the audience want to start with? Do you want to start with Justin and Claire? Do you want to start with Jeremy and Ginger? Or do you want to start with Jill and Jessa? I will take whoever says first, and we'll go with that one. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Ginger and Jeremy. Okay, we'll start with Ginger and Jeremy. All right. For some reason, my chat on this side is a mess. Okay. Ginger and Jeremy. So we had this whole thing happening where we were like, what is going on with them? Remember how they stripped their Hope and Steed channel or their Hope and Steed page on Instagram? And we were like, what's going on? And then they moved it over to this place called Hope We Hold. And I was like, what's this? So where did I go? I had them all pulled up. Here we go. So they made a huge announcement on their Insta, and it's so awkward. And we're going to just watch it and talk about it because, you know, why not? I thought, oh, stead rhymes in dead. I'm sorry. Hope instead. Hope instead. Sorry. It looks like steed to me. Okay. So on their Insta, look at them looking all dapper. She's smiling. Jeremy looks tired. Don't they look tired? They look like they have little kids. All right.
Excited over the last year. We've been working very hard together to do something for you all. And
what do you think they're doing? Does anyone have any ideas?
We have written a book.
A book! They've written a book, you guys. What do you think the book's about?
Is being launched on May 4th in just under a month. And you can pre-order it today. Check the link in our bios. But we are very excited. It's called The Hope We Hold, Finding Peace in the Promises of God.
So it's a memoir about...
A memoir. She called it a memoir. Did you hear that? She called it a memoir, a memoir.
Peace in the Promises of God.
So it's a memoir about our lives, and it kind of just walks through...
Okay, so you guys, these two have been married for like 4 years, and Ginger's 26 or 27. I always think it's weird when you do a memoir when you're literally like 26 years old. Like a memoir to me is like a whole life story. You know, like you do your whole life in your memoir. Your memoir is sort of like after you've had your career and after you've had like everything. And obviously Ginger has had a very interesting life, but she's still very, very early in her life, right? She's 26 or 27. She hasn't lived a whole lot. Yes, she has spent a lot of time on television. Yes, her childhood was much different because of her time on television. But I always find it odd when these young couples, particularly the Christian ones, want to do memoirs when they're really young. Who else feels like this is like Ginger, Audrey and Jeremy roll off? Do you think that's what the book is going to be about? Let's see what they have to say.
Our journey through life. And so it starts with our childhoods and talking about how we grew up, and then just kind of follows our journey through life. And we hope to just give some amazing stories that you guys haven't heard.
Yeah.
Some that you might know about, but then some that definitely you haven't heard.
Yep.
So they want to go behind the scenes and tell us about their whole childhood and tell us about the things we don't know. Now, there's not a whole lot we don't know about the Duggars, and unless Ginger is going to get really deep and go really into some of the stuff that happened in her house that we don't know about, there's honestly a lot that we haven't heard yet from the Duggars in regards to the kids' childhoods. Michelle and Jim Bob have written 2 books. She wrote a book with her sisters about growing up Duggar. So it'll be interesting how she paints this differently as an adult, being that she already wrote a book with her sisters. And look at Jeremy's face. I'm sorry, that's just how it was paused. Jeremy, professional soccer playing times? I don't know. We'll see.
Even our families haven't heard.
Yes, our families haven't heard. So
We wrote, and as we let our families read some of the stories, they were saying, "Man, we didn't know that about you guys," and so yeah, super excited.
And I think in this, our desire is just to take a deeper dive and for you all to be able to see a little bit more about our lives and how we have found peace in knowing Christ. And
okay, so it's going to be a memoir where they find out how they found peace in Christ. So, and they're going to have some stories in there that we haven't heard before, and some of their family members haven't heard these stories before. And yeah, he's definitely, he's lost a little bit of hair in this in this quarantine, but Still an attractive guy. Who cares? Because Amanda says he's got a receding hairline. It's kind of like her brothers. There's a lot of Duggar boys that are also balding. All right. So
in Christ throughout the journey of life, it's not always been easy, but just some raw, real stuff about our lives and our struggles that we face on a daily basis, but then how the Lord has carried us through.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to hear about their struggles that they have on a daily basis. So, and then the Lord carries them through. Okay, so my question is there going to be do you think there's going to be like aha moments in this where we learn things about their relationship that we didn't know? Like, part of me wonders if there's going to be things in their marriage that they reveal that we didn't know about. So, to be honest, this kind of sounds like a love letter life. I don't know if anyone else is getting that, but it sounds like Jeremy and Audrey's love letter life, where they talk about their marriage and their before, their after, and then their marriage and the whole thing getting together and then finding God. It has the very same premise as that. But in that book, Jeremy Roloff got candid about his issues with watching adult filmage, adult entertainment, and what a problem that was in his marriage. And he also talked about an emotional affair he had. So part of me is wondering, is there going to be any admissions of adult entertainment? Because if you know Jeremy, Mr. Jeremy over here, he has admitted that he doesn't like to have his Instagram or looking at things on his phone. And so his wife has it all on her phone. And so if he needs to post something, he has her post it because he doesn't want to be tempted. And I wonder if he's going to go into what those temptations are. There's always been rumors too that he has a wandering eye. So I don't know if that will be addressed either. And then one thing about Jinger is whether or not she will address what some fans believe to be that she had maybe an eating disorder, and if she has been struggling with like anxiety or depression, because she has posted a lot of photos on her Instagram over the last year talking about struggling with anxiety.
And so it was a lot of fun to write. I think there were some days where it was like, okay, what should we say? What should I put in there? How real do you get? And so that was something that it was an enjoyable time. And I think thinking back on some of our fondest memories, even of us together in our relationship, and
First
it was
meeting.
really sweet. Just
the
how we
day.
met, and then a little bit crazy story in the midst of all of that you'll find out when you read the book.
So what's the crazy story?
In the midst of all of that, and then a little bit crazy story in the midst of all, thinking back on some of our fondest memories, even of us together in our relationship, and
First
it was
meeting.
really sweet.
Just
how we met, and then a little bit crazy story in the midst of all of that.
A crazy story in the midst of them meeting. What is the crazy story? I want to know what the crazy story is.
Find out when you read the book. It was,
For me, Ginger's written a book before, and for me, it was first time, and it was kind of a surreal experience, just seeing the story of our lives on paper, and things that Ginger and I had talked about that had defined us as in our relationship in many ways, but actually putting that on paper, and it was a pretty remarkable experience. So we're excited, guys. We're excited to release this for you May 4th. Be sure to pre-order it.
It's on pre-order right now. So that's really why they're talking about it.
You can go to the link in our bio and check it out with all of you. So we hope it's a blessing.
Yeah, we're excited for you all to take a deeper dive and for us to even be able to engage with you all on these things. And so whatever you read in the book, leave comments and review. Okay.
So this is their big reveal. They wrote a book. Now, will I read the book? Of course I will for you guys. We, of course, will cover the book on this channel, obviously. But I'm still trying to figure out what's going to be in this book that's going to be interesting. I wonder if they are really going to be like super honest about things or if they're going to gloss over things. And I wonder if they are going to talk about sort of God being the answer for everything. I know one thing that has upset or sort of frustrated some of Ginger's fans is when she has opened up about her own anxiety or sort of feelings of depression that she's experiencing, she always talks about how she needs to pray more or she needs to go to the Lord more, which has actually caused a lot of like fights on some of her posts on Instagram because people get really upset with her because they're like, Ginger, you have this huge platform. Please be mindful that not everything can be handled with prayer or through God. So I will see, I guess we'll have to see. I mean, she was kind of the kid that had a lot of anxiety and was always stressed out about things. And I often wonder if like, is there going to be any discussion about stuff with Josh? Is it going to be stuff about tough stuff that happened when she was a kid? Or are they going to stick to the Duggar brand of everything was hunky-dory and joyful and amazing? I wonder how honest they're going to get. Jeremy had a life already where he wasn't, like he was normal. He went to like a normal per se in that he went to public school. He went to a public college. He played professional soccer. So he had a much less sheltered life than her. Okay, so we've got 2 more rounds. What do you guys think about the book? Would you read it? Would you not read it? Are you into it? Are you not into it? I'd listen if it's on Audible. Got it. All right. Next up, we will do Claire and Justin. Now, this is the first time Claire and Justin were on the show. And I'm not going to be able to play long bits of it, but you'd rather someone read it and give you the clip notes. So Claire and Justin showed up on TLC Me. And this is their video. And they talk about being newlyweds. Now, the really weird thing to me about this clip is that they don't, like, it seems really scripted, and it seems like he has a line and she has a line and they're going back and forth with their lines, where, some of the people that are on, some of the couples, you can tell that they have lines, but this is so obvious that they have lines. And Claire seems kind of uncomfortable. I mean, mind you, this is her first true introduction to the Counting On world, let's just say.
This is my wife, Claire Duggar.
Oh my gosh. He said, this is my wife, Claire Duggar. Now he's going to talk about the day.
Wedding day was awesome. I mean, of course, that's every guy's expression, but it was really something that was super memorable.
What do you think the most memorable part of his wedding day was? Do you think it was the kiss? Do you think it was the front hugging? Do you think it was spending time with his wife, his family, his friends? Now, the Duggars' weddings are not super long. They get married, they eat, and then they go home. There's no dancing. It's not like this big festive thing that goes on for hours at a time, because the long of the short of it is they need to get home to front hug.
And wish we could go back to that day.
He wants to go back to that day. Look at that look on his face. And look at her face. She's like, oh, I could have done without the 40 minutes of stretching that your dad told us to do.
Every once in a while, and just replay it all over again. It was just so awesome.
He wants to replay his wedding night over and over and over again because it was so awesome. Now, I'm sure it was a lot more awesome for him than it was for her.
We are super excited for this next chapter of our...
Wish we could go back to that day. So awesome.
We are
Okay, listen to her now where she talks. She's like very robotic here.
super excited for this next chapter of our lives, just to not ever have to leave one another again. And it's been something that we've waited for.
So she's like, we're excited that we never have to leave each other again, because they were long distance, if you remember that, and it's something that they've been waiting for. So that's, I mean, this is really weird because so far all they said that this is like the weirdest 2-minute clip, because so far they've only said, I loved our wedding day. We love that we don't have to like leave each other anymore.
Decided to settle down in Texas, kind of around Claire's parents in their hometown.
Since being
Okay, so they are settling down in Texas and they are going to live by Claire's parents. So he got like a little red-faced there. I don't know if they're even going to be on Counting On, to be honest.
married, I feel like I've learned some different new things about Justin.
She's learned different new things. Now, she could share a million things about him, but what she shares about him is so funny to me because it's not even really that exciting. Like, you know, when you're in a relationship, you know almost everything about your significant other before you get married. Look at his face. He's like, oh gosh, what is she going to share about me? What is it she's going to tell me?
One being that, like, in the mornings, I'll have to get up and have a little bit of time to get ready and whatever. And
So she needs time to sort of wake up, clear her face, probably have some coffee or some tea or something.
can wake up and be like, oh, I'm supposed to be out the door in 10 minutes, gotta go. And once he finally gets out of bed, I'm like, I'm really jealous that you're just able to roll with it and go. So
Okay, this is the best thing she's learned about him, that he can roll out of bed and get up in the morning and go. And she can't. I'm trying to imagine their like house. Like, isn't there something more exciting that you've learned about Justin than him waking up and being able to leave the house in 10 minutes and you needing to take your time to get up? Like, I don't know. Wouldn't there be something more like he doesn't know how to put the toilet seat down and he smells really bad when he farts? I mean, I don't know.
Sometimes it bites. Something new that I've learned about Claire
Okay, now what he learns about Claire, this is also so weird.
is that she can't go in the mornings without a cup of tea, hot tea.
So she learned that he can just get up and go, and Justin learned that she needs a cup of hot tea. Like, is this really all you guys learned? Really? Come on, TLC. These two are young. They are so young. There's got to be more exciting things. They sound like they're in their 50s. I mean, honestly, they sound like they're my age. Like, this is a conversation my husband and I would have. Like, oh, you need to have your coffee in the morning. Like, come on, guys.
She has to have her hot Earl Grey tea and done a certain way, which I'm figuring out. So, but I think
She has to have her hot Earl Grey tea done a certain type of way.
something that we really enjoy doing together is biking. And
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is the saddest part for her. She's going to admit that she didn't ride a bike until like last summer. Think about this. This girl is 20 years old and she had never ridden a bike before.
I had never done it a whole lot before. Like, I knew how to ride a bike, but last summer, his family really got into biking.
So she didn't ride a bike, and like the big thing that they do now is biking. You guys, okay, this is how I imagine them. The bike stitch. Oh God. Okay, this is what I imagine them. They're like 80-year-olds because they have their Earl Grey tea. They're going to go biking. Do you think they have baskets on their bikes? And when they're with their baskets, they can put their like Bible in there and they can go to Bible study and they can go get their coffee or their tea. Like, this is what they do for fun. We're going to go biking after we have our Earl Grey tea. These two are 18 and 20.
And he introduced me to it, and going on long bike rides has become a fun thing for us to do together.
And the cadence, you can tell that she's like totally scripted. It's a fun thing to do together.
we want to thank you, fans, for y'all's prayers.
Okay, does anyone else feel like Jim, Bob, and Michelle were like, don't tell them about how much what you really want to say is how you just are loving all the front hugging, and you don't even go outside because you're doing it 3 to 4 times a day like we told you to do it in our honeymoon list. Because that's all you're supposed to be doing in the first year. You're riding bikes. No. You're riding bikes in Earl Grey tea. No, you're not. You know you're not. You know what you're doing, you two. They must have e-bikes. First time hearing a fundy not addicted to obsessed with coffee. I know they love their coffee. This is true too. Okay. So last up, before we go to that, what did everyone else think about that? Do you feel like that was like super staged and they really would have, had they not been having Jim, Bob, and Michelle on them, they would have talked more about front hugging on the bed for 15 minutes, maybe 10, 5 tops, 30 seconds, the stretching, lidocaine, the towels, the essential oils with some baby lotion. Yeah, because that's really what happens. Okay. I have a feeling like that's probably their favorite activity right now. Let's just be honest. They're brand newlyweds. Okay. Amanda says, that was ridiculous. Sadie says, it was so bad. They are babies. All right. Now, if you have not checked out my Instagram, you can follow me there. So, and if you're watching and you have not joined, the join button is actually linked in the pinned post where you can actually become a member and support the channel if you want to take part in the chat right now. All right, so finally, we're going to do Jessa and Jill reuniting. I actually liked this one. I always have hope that maybe Jessa sometimes, Blessa, will leave, but I don't know. Probably not. All right. So, Blessa and Jill, Jilly Bean, didn't they call her Jilly Bean? They did used to call her Jilly Bean. Okay, no, that's just me. Did I just call her Jilly Bean? I feel like I heard that before. Blessa and Jilly Bean. Now, if you remember, Jilly Bean was the favorite Duggar daughter. Jessa was the naughty Duggar daughter that literally all of the siblings couldn't stand because she was so like mean to her siblings and like super rambunctious. And Jill was the sibling that literally everyone loved because she took care of them and she nursed them and she loved them and she doted on them. Jilly Muffin. Okay, it was Jilly Muffin. Frida is not caring about it. Thank you so much for your super sticker, Sylvia. All right. Jilly Muffin. Is that what it was? It really Jilly Muffin? I like Jilly Bean better. Thank you for your super sticker. Oh, yes to both nicknames. Okay, no, Jim Bob definitely called her Jilly and Jilly Bean. That's what I thought. I feel like I remember that from one of the episodes. Jilly Bean and Jessa Blessa. Okay, Jilly Bean and Jessa Blessa. Okay, she's got music. Look. Oh, cute. Samuel's wearing a mask. Now, what I love about Jill is that Jill's wearing a mask, but Blessa is not.
I love it. Such good messages.
So they're at some...
Jess and I love this like little island with the
Okay, look at this. She has got her mask fully up. Look at Jessa.
bar stools that like slide in and out. Isn't it cute?
It's a super cute table.
I love the baskets and all the cute stuff over there. So cute. I saw Jessa.
And there's Jessa waiting in line to buy her stuff. No mask. But Jill, mask, no mask, mask, no mask. A tale of two sisters in two worlds.
Can I see it? We got Candy. He's very happy. Here, let's get him close. Jessa came.
They went to vintage. Look at this. Wait, you guys, look at that. Look at that. Wait, look. Ivy. Look at Ivy. her eyes. I love Ivy. She's got the biggest eyeballs. There's Spurgeon. Did you know Spurgeon was a biblical name? I love Ivy. Ivy's my favorite.
Candy Spurge? Yeah. So fun. A vintage market days. Samuel's here. Say hi, Sam. We got Candy. He's very healthy. Hey, Henry, Ivy, Spurge.
Okay, I gotta show you this again. Seriously, look at her. I'm obsessed with Ivy's eyeballs.
Spurge.
I'm obsessed with Ivy's eyeballs. Okay, does anyone else get obsessed with Ivy's eyeballs? She is like the cutest kid. Ivy's my favorite of the little girls right now. There's a lot of them. I haven't no, I really like Felicity too, because Felicity like says funny things. But we haven't really seen Addison a whole lot. We haven't seen Gracie, but I see like Ivy so much on social media that I just love her. She is the cutest. Her eyeballs, she's so adorable. She's going to be a knockout, just a knockout. She already is a knockout. She's adorable. She's pretty. We'll say some good thoughts that she does not have to go into the joyfully available cult. All right. Now, does this mean that Jessa and Blessa, or Blessa and Billy, does this mean that Jessa, Blessa, and Jilly Bean are best friends again? I don't know, but I think it's a good sign. They did go shopping to something similar like this last year, if I can recall. And I know that they do have, they talk and they're periodic. If Jill has a relationship with any of her siblings, I would say that the one you see her with the most is Jessa. The one that you see her kind of with the least is Ginger. I guess that she and Ginger have kind of an icy relationship right now. But Jessa and her are obviously friendly, and they have kids around the same age. I really do hope for their sake, for the kids' sake, that Jill can have some sort of relationship with her sisters. I would hate for her disagreement with her parents to extend to her relationships with her siblings, particularly the sisters that she was really close to. And I think that, growing up, she was really, really close. Like they were like the three amigos, Jill, Jana, and John David. And I feel really sad because I don't think that Jana and Jill are close anymore, because now Jana and Joy are close and Joy and Jill are kind of on the outs. So this gives me hope for Jessa Blessa. I always have hope that Jill will somehow rub off on Jessa and be like, hey, Jessa. Oh, and then note on the pants. So here's the deal. From my inside source about Jessa. When she got married to Ben, my source says that Ben told her right off the bat, like he did not care about her wearing pants, that she should wear whatever she wants. It wasn't like this thing where it was like she had to wear skirts or dresses. He felt like she should be able to wear pants and do whatever she wanted. And I guess my source says that Jessa really struggled with that, and she felt like convicted, from like she couldn't do that, like guilty for doing that. And so she struggled for a very long time being comfortable wearing pants because she grew up believing she had to wear dresses and skirts. So my source said that the fact that Jessa was out wearing skinny jeans to that ultrasound appointment was amazing to see, because she was so, had a hard time on whether or not she could embrace wearing pants. But Ben apparently is fully supportive of her wearing pants, doing her own thing, and wearing whatever she wants. He doesn't think that she has to wear skirts all the time. So Jessa's had a little bit harder of a time letting go of some of the stuff than her sisters, but it sounds like she's moving into a direction where she's getting more comfortable. So that's awesome. It's always good to see progress in tiny, tiny little steps with these girls. All right. So Jeremy and Ginger are releasing a book. Claire and Justin lied to all of us and said that their favorite thing about being married is Earl Grey tea and riding bicycles, when we know it's front hugging on the bed. And then Jill and Jessa went thrifting. That table was pretty cute though. All right, you guys. So, and last but not least, I did ask Katie's brother if he saw Anna, and he said he did not. He said he did not meet Anna or Josh Duggar. So no Anna Duggar spottings that I know of at the wedding. So I cannot confirm whether or not there is a Josh number 7 in the tubby. He said, I think Josie is going to end up being the most rebellious one. Sadie says, I can't wait for Jill and Derek's book. I know I would buy that. I don't think Spurgeon is a biblical name, but his last name, Christian author, apologist, Jessa. Spurgeon was in something I was reading lately. I don't know if it was in the Bible or if it was like a Christian thing, but I saw the name Spurgeon as a first name, but you're saying they named it after an author, Charles Spurgeon. Interesting. Well, someday. All right. So thanks, guys, for being here tonight. On your way out, please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed and turn notifications on. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Bye.